14 on the big board.
Talk about the continued fallout from MFGlobal's bankruptcy, which is sparking outrage on Capitol Hill. One senator now calling for a Senate hearing on the firm's collapse, given its devastating effect on the ag industry. Here first on CNBC is Republican Senator Pat Roberts of Kansas. He joins us this morning from Capitol Hill. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning.
What is it you're looking for? What is it you want?
Well, you talked about outrage on Capitol Hill. The outrage is in farm country. This is a sacred rule that has never been broken before in the futures industry, when the commingling of the firm's account and the customer's account, and there's $600+ million missing, and a lot of folks in dire shape. So we're pressing basically for the trustee to get busy as fast as he possibly can and get this money back to the people that sorely need it.
Can you give us a sense as to what the impact has been on individual farmers? We know a lot of them use these markets to hedge their bets, to basically make money on their crops. How has it changed their lives?
Well, it's changed their lives if you're short about half of what you've invested or about half of what you put in an account to manage risk. And that could be anybody that wants to manage risk, not only farmers and ranchers. So all of a sudden, if you find out that this cardinal rule, if I can refer to it that way, has been violated, they're stuck. I hope that they can move to other firms in regards to their margin accounts, but right now it's a pretty iffy situation. You could, that's the difference between a farmer or rancher making it, or some agribusiness making it, or not.
Senator, a big issue, obviously, as you stated, is the missing money, but perhaps at the heart of it is regulation in the beginning. So in this letter that Senator Stabenow sent to Gary Gensler, the chairman of the CFTC, she writes that she would like to commend him for recusing himself from the CFTC's inquiry into MFGlobal. Commend, sure, but should there ever be a relationship that would even put this relationship in jeopardy between a regulator and a regulated institution?
Well, absolutely not, and I'm not sure that Chairman Gensler has recused himself. I've written him 2 letters asking what is his specific role, what did he do about this mess before he recused himself, if in fact he has recused himself. Then of all things, he's going to be one of the 2 witnesses that we have allegedly investigating what happened or taking a look at what happened. Very close scrutiny with MFGlobal. If he recused himself, he's not going to answer any questions. We don't need Gary Gensler there. If that's the case, we need John Corzine.
Let me ask you, sir, what are the questions that you'd specifically like him to answer? I read, for example, that it was over a year ago that the CFTC was discussing whether they should have new rules to restrict how derivative brokers invested client funds. And in fact, during the summer, they dropped an immediate vote on that under the petition of John Corzine in particular and others, and now they may vote that rule through in December. Is that your understanding, or would that be a central focus?
I'm not sure if it's the central focus, but it's my understanding. The situation today is they broke existing laws, existing rules. There's been law breaking under the existing rules. We're having a hearing on Dodd-Frank basically because Dodd-Frank deals with overregulation and the problems that has caused for the entire economy and the entire lending industry. We shouldn't be having a hearing that will turn into an MFGlobal hearing with nobody there that can answer the questions.
Senator, have you spoken to Mr. Corzine? Has anybody in the Senate, anybody from your committee, had any sort of contact with him or any of his parties?
I have no idea where Mr. Corzine is. He's AWOL.
And I'm wondering, obviously, the chairwoman of the committee, Senator Stabenow, has been working on this, and now you're calling for these hearings. Is this going to turn into a political fight over MF? Or
No, there's no need for that. There's no need for that whatsoever. She originally called for hearings on Dodd-Frank. I think that's very appropriate because we're running into problems with Dodd-Frank because of overregulation. And then all of a sudden MFGlobal popped up, and so basically she's indicating that these hearings will be fine, or not fine, but at least pertinent to MFGlobal. My point is that if Chairman Gensler has recused himself, there's nobody there to answer any questions. And we need to know, well, we need to know from him, and I'm going to ask him the question. Number one, has he recused himself? I've sent him 2 letters. He hasn't even responded. Say, what is your standing? What did you do in regards to MFGlobal before you allegedly now have recused yourself? And if he has, he can't answer any questions about it. it would have been very easy for him to say, I've known John Corzine for 30 years, we're a friend, I recuse myself. I have not seen that evidence. I have not seen that language. I don't know what his position is.
Finally, on the super committee, Senator, what's the feeling among the Senate body in light of what we clearly expect to be a failure this afternoon?
That's like punting the ball on first down about 3 times. The first time was abrogating our responsibility under regular order here in the Senate. We have yet to pass a budget for over 1,000 days. The second one is going to a committee, which maybe we had all hoped it was not doomed to failure, but we knew that we had very strong feelings between the two parties on taxes and spending reductions. So now we go to a sequester. That's the third punt, and that's a mess because you can't go to a sequester and take a large chunk out of the defense budget, endangering national security. Leon Panetta has made that very clear. The Commandant of the Marine Corps has made it very clear to me. And so we have a sequester looming there. There are some that say, oh, don't worry, we'll go through the sequester and we'll fix it in 2013. That's ridiculous. And then lastly, we have the president, with all due respect, who ever since the Bull-Simpson Commission has been he's not led. He's been doing other things. He's been campaigning. We need a president to come back and quit campaigning and take charge of this thing and say, all right, where are we in regards to a proper conclusion? But time is running out. I mean, it's today. They have to have these figures if, in fact, they do come to any kind of a positive conclusion here so that CBO can make the score.
Yeah.
So it's just not a good situation at all.
Senator, good to have you. Thanks for your time today.
I wish it could be more optimistic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Us too. Senator Pat Robertson in Washington. When we come back today, markets clearly